Good morning, family around the world. I hope all is well, and I hope I will continue to be well. So I want to speak a brief tick on indulgence, which is a struggle for this week. But this video is indulgence resistant. So for years, my vice was alcohol. And I didn't drink Monday through Thursday, right? So I drank Friday, Saturday, and maybe a little bit on Sunday. But between those 3 days or 2.5 days, however you want to look at it, I made up for Monday through Thursday. The intake was real. This went on for years. But God kind of took that taste out of my mouth for it, the want for it. Now, ever so often, still now, like I still, I want it. But, that's more of my flesh wanting it. And the devil telling me, yeah, go ahead and take one drink. See, now, one thing about me with alcohol, if I have one, chances are I'm going to have another one. So, and that's kind of what I want to talk about, pertaining, indulging. Because ultimately the root of it is making the best decision and self-control. I'm pretty sure we all struggle with something. There's something in our lives that we have a weakness for that's not really good for us. And that could be, it could be unhealthy. So what we're going to do now is, if we know we lack self-control in areas, the best decision to make is to step away from it, to go in the opposite direction, because it's that fix, just one. I'm just gonna have one Lay's potato chips. You can't eat just one. Nah, those lame. But no, seriously, we have to make a decision to go in the opposite direction, whatever that means for you. Because when indulging in things that we have a weakness for, very little control of, we tend to abuse it. We tend to become subject to it to the point where it consumes us. And the result of it, the consequence of it could be serious. So like I said, alcohol was mine. I never got, drunk where I was like stumbling and can't walk straight or couldn't walk straight, but falling and all that stuff. Like I didn't, throwing up and stuff like that. Like I've had my fair share. But the big thing with me was, so the anger that I've dealt with, for years. Excuse me. The anger that I dealt with for years, that will come out. I'm either happy drunk or angry drunk. It's not good. I mean, granted, it could be like a social thing with the drinking or whatever, but that's where it starts. So if I had one, I was guaranteed to have more, and it wouldn't take much for you to, like, you push the right button, any button or whatever, and I would, it would activate something within me. So, for me, how I look at it, not for you, whatever you feel about it, how you view it, I'm not trying to change your preference. I'm not trying to judge or condemn, talk down, none of that. This is just for me. I always call alcohol the devil's fluid. And that's because alcohol used to bring out the worst in me. It really did. Like I said, I was either happy or I was ticked, and it didn't take much. It didn't really take much to tick me off anyway. But with alcohol in my system, like it was immediately, So what I've done, and I try to, like hold fast to this, is just not drink at all. I mean, that's the best decision for me regarding alcohol, just to stay away from it. Because I know if I have one, I'm going to want another one. Now I can control my alcohol, but it's the fact that I'm putting that in my body, and I know what it could produce. And not only that, to dive a little deeper, the reason why I choose to stay from it, like basically God give me the strength to do it. I'm not doing it on my own. But it's a decision that we make, and in that decision, when it's doing the right thing, God will always back us on that. He will always give us the strength to overcome whatever that is. So I try my best to stay away from it, period. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. So I was fishing for my thoughts. I forgot. But the main reason why I try to stay away from it is because any given moment, God could reveal something to me about, his plans for me. He could reveal another piece to the puzzle that I didn't know that I needed, but I do need to take the next step. He can reveal something to me, or he can just having that fellowship with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like, I start drinking, that cuts that off, or it limits that, because we're not supposed to, like, our body is a temple. So we're not supposed to place God in an environment where it's toxic, like, meaning like the body, the temple, right? So if the temple is the Holy Spirit, our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, right? So by me drinking alcohol and whatever else, like this is holy. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm drinking alcohol or whatever, like, and it's one or the other. It's one or the other, God or that. And he have given me choices. Like the most recent was like 2 weeks ago. He told me, just like he told me 5 years ago. It's either the alcohol or me. You can't have both. And I understand, like, certain things that where God has taken us, like, we have to shed that weight. We have to shed that, whatever that weight is, whether it's people, things, idols, whatever it is, we have to shed that weight. So I understand, like, where the Holy Spirit dwells, alcohol can't reside. You know what I'm saying? Alcohol can't be a part of that. Anything bad, anything that's toxic, anything that can harm you in any way or whatever. Like, so that's my viewpoint on it. So I choose to stay away from it because it's like I don't want to miss that moment. And in addition to that, the being happy or being angry. So I try to stay away from it. So that's my advice, or was my advice. And just for you, whatever your weakness is, whatever you choose to indulge in, just try to make the decision to just stay away from it. especially if you know you weak behind it, and it only causes you harm, just stay away from it, because ultimately what it's about is making the best decision and self-control. All right? So be strong in all that you do. If you feel weak, go to Christ and ask for the strength that you need to get through whatever it is. You don't have to be subject to it anymore. You don't have to be a slave to it anymore. You don't have to be. You've been set free. All right? So go ahead and get your freedom on with your free self, and make the decision to stay away from it, especially if you don't have self-control. All right? Much love. Talk to you later.